Welcome to the Busy Signal. My name is Jim, and this is my retrostalgic 80s, 90s, and early 2000s podcast. This show aims to salute all the stuff from back in the day that is now extinct or quickly going that way. The Busy Signal, episode 37. I'm Jim. Thanks for listening. As much as I love to fondly remember the physical things of the past that no longer exist, I also like to look back at the non-tangible stuff, the experiences. Because you can go on eBay right now and buy first-gen Mad Balls, Muscle Men, old My Pet Monsters, whatever you want, really. But you can't buy those experiences that live rent-free in your head, the ones from your childhood. You can try and recreate them, but they're never quite like they used to be. And of course, the experience that I'm talking about today is the experience of Saturday morning cartoons and cereal. Current generations have their differences. Boomers, Gen Xers, Zennials, Millennials, whatever you want to call them. They may have their differences right now, but they can all find common ground through this similar experience. Saturday morning cartoons and cereal was a golden age. It was a sacred ritual. Waking up early on Saturday and heading to the kitchen quietly so not to wake up anybody. Getting the milk, the spoon, the bowl, your favorite box of cereal that you probably have already pillaged for whatever toy was inside, and camping out in front of the TV all morning, watching cartoons. That was just the best. It didn't matter what was going on at school or during the week. That was what we all looked forward to every weekend. It kicked off our weekend, Saturday morning cartoons and cereal. And in the 1980s, we had some incredible breakfast cereals for our Saturday mornings. So let's go back to a simpler time, when footy pajamas and underoos were in fashion. And let's remember some of the cereals that we ate back in the day. As if we needed further proof that Saturday morning cartoons and cereal went hand in hand, in 1983, Post gifted kids with a cereal based on a super popular cartoon at the time, Smurf Berry Crunch. Fruity sweetened corn and wheat cereal fortified with 10 essential vitamins and minerals, according to the box. This cereal is legend. The box art was awesome, the commercials were fun, and it tasted great.
Come on, Handy Smurfed up the factory!
Smurf Berry Crunch is fun to eat, a Smurfy fruity breakfast treat.
Now, making Smurf Berry Crunch cereal is more fun than ever!
We make enough for everyone, 'cause making it is so much fun.
Stop the music!
Aww!
It's time to eat!
Yay!
It's berry shaped and crispy too, in berry red and Smurfy blue.
Eating Smurf Berry Crunch is even Smurfier than making it.
A very Smurfy part of this nutritious breakfast.
And when I say that this cereal is legend, it's not just because empty flattened Smurf Berry Crunch boxes sell for over $250 on eBay right now. It's legend for its reported side effects. Smurf Berry Crunch didn't use natural coloring for those berries. Rumor has it that the blue dye that they used in the cereal, well, it had gastrointestinal side effects on kids. What side effects? Well, kids reported having Smurf blue poo. And parents weren't down with that, so Post retooled the formula, and then they re-released the cereal in 1987 as Smurf Magic Berries.
New Smurf Magic Berries, that fruity cereal with marshmallow stars, will be marshmallowy mine!
Gargamel took our cereal!
It's a cinch with my marshmallow stars. You'll feel the pinch. Ouch! My marshmallow stars make everyone love new Smurf Magic Berry cereal, part of this nutritious breakfast.
Yummy, gummy Smurf, gummy goodies candy, fruity flavored and free, in each Smurf Magic Berries, cereal box, March specially.
Other than the new recipe, Smurf Magic Berries had marshmallow stars. Did you eat Smurf Berry Crunch back in the day? Did it make it look like you ate actual Smurfs? Wait, isn't that what Gargamel wanted to do in the cartoon? He wanted to eat the Smurfs?
Oh, humiliating. We've been Smurf hunting all day and not one little blue hide to show for it. I guess it's beans and skunk cabbage soup again tonight.
The 1980s gave us a plethora of catchphrases. And one of my favorites was from that overworked, loyal to his craft and the people, spokesman for Dunkin' Donuts, Fred the Baker.
Time to make the donuts.
Fred's commercials were so popular for Dunkin' Donuts that he became a household name. His real name was Michael Vale, by the way. In 1988, Dunkin' Donuts teamed up with Ralston and released Dunkin' Donuts cereal. And it came in glazed and chocolate flavors. It was a really fun cereal with great commercials that had Fred the Baker making these little tiny donuts.
Time to make the donuts.
Introducing a big idea from a giant in the business, the world's smallest donuts.
Ta-da!
In new Dunkin' Donut cereal, you get delicious, crunchy little donuts by the hundreds. All your favorite donut shapes, rings, holes, and twists. You can choose rich chocolate or glazed donut flavors, or both as part of a nutritious breakfast. Dunkin' Donut cereal, crunchy little donuts, great big taste.
Time to eat the donuts.
And it wasn't for very long that we had this cereal. I'd say by 1990, it was just gone from shelves. And these days there are newer Dunkin' Donuts cereals, or Dunkin' cereals, but they seem to focus mainly on the crazy coffee latte flavors that they offer. Fred the Baker crawled out of bed every morning so that America could run on Dunkin'. And while we're speaking about 80s catchphrases, I pity the fool that never tried Mr. T cereal. Mr. T was all the rage in the 1980s. He was a family-friendly tough guy oozing with positive mental attitude. The gold chains and mohawk were pretty rad too. But he was everywhere. The A-Team, Rocky III, tons of guest starring roles, and his own Saturday morning cartoon, and in 1984, his own cereal.
I know Cool, and Cool's teaming up with a good balanced breakfast.
Teaming up with Mr. T cereal, it's getting on the team that knows how cool breakfast can be. You get a crispy corn taste with a touch of brown sugar. Teaming up with Mr. T.
It's Cool.
Teaming up with Mr. T, golden sweet crispy teas. One bite and you're gonna be eating with the team that's teaming up with Mr. T.
It's Cool.
Teaming up with Mr. T.
Even if you've never experienced it for yourself, you've seen it in the famous scene from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And if you've never seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure, we can't talk. You know the scene where Pee-wee has his breakfast, the 2 eggs on the pancakes, and the eggs look like eyes, and he starts making the pancakes talk like Mr. T while he's dumping Mr. T's cereal all over his plate.
Good morning, Pee-wee. Good morning, Mr. Breakfast. Can I have some Mr. T cereal? Okay. I pity the poor fool. Don't eat my cereal.
Yeah, that. Anyway, here's the thing. As cool as Mr. T is, the cereal pretty much just tasted like Captain Crunch. It was the color of Captain Crunch too. So let's not fool ourselves. This was Captain Crunch in the shape of teas. And if you thought Captain Crunch was a palate wrecker, try eating a bowl full of crunchy teas. You might as well have been eating a bowl of broken glass. But if you left it in the milk just a second too long, just a second, just like Captain Crunch, Mr. T cereal got super soggy, and that was gross. Mr. T wasn't the only thing that was all the rage back in the 80s. Nintendo dominated the video game scene with its Nintendo Entertainment System, the NES. Most popular were the Super Mario and Luigi games, along with Zelda. They were everywhere and in everything: magazines, TV shows, cartoons, Happy Meals, and yes, in your cereal bowl. In 1988, Ralston produced the Nintendo Cereal System.
Nintendo.
It's for breakfast now.
Nintendo.
It's a cereal.
Wow. Nintendo.
Super Mario Chunks.
Nintendo.
In a fruit-flavored crunch.
Nintendo.
Here's Zelda too.
Nintendo.
It's very good news.
Nintendo.
You just can't move. Nintendo Cereal System is a super part of this nutritious breakfast.
Nintendo.
2 cereals in 1. Wow.
1 box, 2 cereals. Usually a cereal box had 1 bag of cereal in it. That's it. This box had 2. One side was the Super Mario Bros. Action Series cereal, and the other side was the Zelda Adventure Series cereal. Both were fruity flavored cereals, and the Super Mario Bros. Cereal featured Mario, Mushroom, Goomba, Koopa Troopa, and King Koopa shapes. The Zelda cereal featured Link, Heart, Boomerang, Key, and Shield shapes. The box art is just incredible, and there's a couple different versions over the years, but it's an awesome split screen with Mario on one side, Zelda on the other, and there were always prizes in the box, as well as Nintendo Power Cards. You could collect like 12 Nintendo Power Cards. And there was character stickers and offers to win Nintendo gear, but the cereal well, it was okay. It wasn't my favorite, but all the extras totally made up for that. As rad as Nintendo's dual cereal box was, it wasn't the first. I really don't know what the first one was, but I do know that Nestle and Ralston teamed up in 1985, before the Nintendo cereal system, to put out a dual box of Nerds cereal. And you could get two different cereals. There was one cereal where one side was orange and the other was cherry, and then the other cereal was strawberry and grape.
The big question about new Nerd cereal is, which side? Are you gonna be burned?
Orange flavor on this side.
Orange!
Cherry flavor on this side.
Cherry!
So?
Which side? Are you gonna be burned?
They're both so delicious, I can't decide.
New Nerd cereal is the fruity good part of your complete breakfast.
Which side are you gonna eat first?
Which side are you gonna eat first?
Also available in grape and strawberry. Nerds.
Again, this was a fruity flavored cereal, but this was based on candy, so really sweet. It was really sweet and tangy, and at one point you could send away for a Nerds cereal bowl with two sides, one side for the cereal and one side for the milk. And dividing the two sides was what they called a Nerd Gate. And in the center was a little door that could be lifted up for the milk to flood in on the cereal side. They just don't make things like that anymore. This was a very vivid and bright cereal with red, orange, and purple coloring. So it really should be no surprise that this cereal also had reported similar side effects to that of the Smurf Berry Crunch. Except instead of blue, the results were bright red and orange, and one can see how that would be alarming to children and parents alike. So far, every cereal in this episode has been a licensed cereal, modeled after and using the likenesses of existing characters and properties. So we're going to switch it up a bit for this one. This cereal was not based on a celebrity, video games, or cartoons. This General Mills cereal ran from 1982 to 1988, and it's a take on that good old campfire treat, s'mores. And they called it
S'mores Crunch.
It's here. Marshmallows and chocolate and graham crackers together in new S'mores Crunch cereal. A fantastic part of this complete breakfast.
Hi, what's a cereal? S'mores Crunch? There's no S'mores Crunch cereal.
There is now. New S'mores Crunch, like a dream come true.
And anybody who's ever tried this cereal, if you're honest with yourselves, you know that this was basically Golden Grahams with a dusting of chocolate powder and some marshmallows. But don't misunderstand me, that's not a knock on this cereal. That's exactly what it needed to be. Graham, chocolate, and marshmallows. Duh. Amongst the other licensed gimmicky cereals, this cereal stood apart. This was a proper Saturday morning sugary cereal. Why it left us in 1988, I don't know. There was rumor that I heard possibly it came back at some point in the 90s. Why it failed, I don't know. Nor do I care. Just bring it back. Okay, back to the licensed gimmicky cereals. Just as S'mores Crunch left the shelves, Post and Jim Henson teamed up with the Swedish chef to bring the chef's own original recipe, Crunchy Stars, to kids everywhere. You know the Swedish chef, that lovable, mustachioed, unintelligible speaking Muppet who pretty much is the pure embodiment of kitchen catastrophe? Yeah, even he got his own cereal in 1988.
We're in the Muppet Test Kitchen where the Swedish chef is trying to make his delicious star-shaped cereal, new Crunchy Stars, with cinnamon toast taste. It seemed impossible, and then it hit him.
Ooh, stars. Yes, scrumptious.
Scrumptious Crunchy Stars, part of this nutritious breakfast.
Yeah, scrumptious.
Crunchy Stars, great taste from Post and the Swedish chef.
And while I love wearing my rose-colored glasses, I can't for this one. I just can't. This cereal was awful. It was crunchy, yes, and it was shaped like stars, sure. And it promised a cinnamon toast flavor, and that's where I need to start parting ways, because it tasted more like the box that it came in, dusted with stale cinnamon. It wasn't good. And that's just my take on it. It's just my opinion. The box art was awesome. The activities and the written material on the back of the box were extremely entertaining. and the commercials were memorable. But at the end of the day, this is my least favorite cereal of the 1980s, and I have a least favorite cereal for the 90s too, but that's another show. Needless to say, I have never been as keen on the Swedish Chef or his antics after being duped into eating his gross cereal. Although, come to think of it, I'm not even sure why I'm surprised that this cereal wasn't good, because I've seen him in the kitchen. As a child of the 1980s, I have seen loads of commercials for breakfast cereals. And every commercial has the same or similar phrase in it. Did you pay attention? Even all of the commercials we heard today. The phrase is always similar. It's pretty much just one word being swapped out. That the cereal being advertised is
a very Smurfy part of this nutritious breakfast.
Part of this nutritious breakfast.
Part of a nutritious breakfast.
Part of this nutritious breakfast. A fantastic part of this complete breakfast.
Part of this nutritious breakfast.
Teaming up with a good balanced breakfast.
Part of a balanced breakfast. Sometimes the word is not balanced, sometimes it's good or complete or nutritious. And the scene is always the same. They show a bowl of cereal sitting on a table with juice, toast, and milk. Usually a whole 8-ounce glass of milk. Really, that's being conservative. It actually does kind of look like a 10 to 12-ounce glass of milk, but for this we'll just say it's 8 ounces. And also, right next to that 8-ounce glass of milk is an 8-ounce glass of orange juice. 2 pieces of toast with at least a tablespoon of butter, and sometimes a fruit like an orange or a banana. And I always wondered, who's eating all of that in the morning? And is my breakfast not complete because I'm not eating all of that? Sugary cereal with milk, more milk, acidic orange juice with all that milk, and then 2 pieces of bread and butter because we needed more dairy in this meal, and a fruit? I would be in a food coma every morning. I mean, yikes.
You learn to check your own blood sugar and check it often. That, along with a simple diet and exercise program, can help keep your diabetes under control.
To put it in further perspective, let's look at this meal calorically, if that's even a word. This balanced, nutritious, complete breakfast weighs in at a whopping estimated 742 calories. That's just stupid. I mean, luckily I don't think any kid ever paid attention to that. Like, it must have just been me. I'm the weird one who thinks like that, right? Was this your Saturday morning ritual back in the day? Cartoons and cereal? How many of the cereals featured in this episode did you try? Were there any cereals that I left out that were your favorites? Let me know. Hit me up in the comments on Instagram at BusySignalCast. And while you're there, slap that follow button for your daily dose of nostalgia. Over the last 2 weeks, we have featured classic Valentine's Day commercials and Coca-Cola commercials. If you liked this episode, please subscribe on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Never miss an episode. And while you're there, hook it up with a 5-star rating and a positive review. I'll read all these reviews and positive comments on a future episode, just like I'm about to do right now for Juan25 and some numbers after that, who commented on the last episode, number 36, Low Tech. They write, I randomly got recommended this and I like it already. Thanks for listening, Juan. That's a certified cool comment. And that's just about all the time we have for now. I'm going to go grab a bowl of cereal. Thanks for hanging out. Catch you later. Once again, I'd like to say thanks for listening. And as always, you can listen to The Busy Signal everywhere quality podcasts are streamed. Hit the subscribe button to have a new episode delivered directly to your favorite device every other Friday. If you really like the show, leave a 5-star rating or a positive review on Apple and Spotify. That lets everybody else know to come check out what you already think is awesome. You can also head over to Instagram and follow the show at BusySignalCast for even more retrostalgic content. I share a good amount of fun stuff that isn't mentioned on the episodes. While you're there, say hi in the comments. Don't be shy. And until next time, remember, reach out and touch the past.
Time to make the donut.